Welcome to another episode of the Fit for Purpose podcast. My name is Brandon. This is my co-host, Jacob.
Yeah, in today's episode, we talk all about purpose. We kind of step outside of just the fitness discussion and dive into what this is really all about, which is purpose and being fit for purpose so that we can serve others.
Yeah, so join us and be sure to follow us on Spotify and like and subscribe to our YouTube so you don't miss a thing.
Let's go. Life is happening to you, but you also get to choose how to respond and how to take action on a daily basis.
That little bit of selfishness will allow you to inherit like the things that are going to fill your cup so that you then in turn can take that and turn around and give it to someone else.
We kind of specify fitness and working out and nutrition around that, but really what it's about is improving your overall health.
Quiet the noise, reflect with yourself, spend time to care for yourself. Like, man, purpose is out there.
As I've gotten older, I become more self-aware. Like you start to learn more about yourself and, improve the relationship you have with yourself and figure out like more what you need. And that's something that I struggled with in my early 20s. Like I would just like find myself like getting irritable and like short-tempered and, like impatient with people. And I'm usually like a pretty patient, like relaxed person. And then I would just like, I'd had like be kind of forced to just like go be by myself.
Yeah.
And then I would feel refreshed. And so now I'm like intentional about like, I need some time to just be alone and, do some deep breathing or just go for a walk or like just down regulate. And then I'm so much better when I am intentional about taking that time to be by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so it just kind of fuels my soul. Like I need to like connect with myself and just like check in and like make sure that I'm, moving in the right direction, kind of like replay the day in my head and just,
Yeah. Like stopping to ask yourself, why am I being reactive? Why am I like, having this interaction or whatever is so important in that context, and to be able to then get ahead of the curve and say, okay, like this means that I need something for me so that I can show up, for others in that way. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's how we evolve, is like, grow and learn about ourselves. And yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I find that if I don't take that time to be like, if I'm not intentional about taking time to be in a self-reflective state and like kind of like walk through my day and, process interactions and just process how the day went and kind of check in with myself. Like, okay, what did I do well today? What do I have planned for tomorrow? In a general kind of sense, what direction am I moving in? What things am I doing right now that are serving me? What things am I doing that are maybe not serving me? Just getting that time to just be with yourself and check in and kind of like continue to build that rapport and that relationship with yourself. I find that fuels me so much.
I think that's an area where I find myself like lacking in a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to take from you and learn from you in that sense. But yeah, it's like, you see like practices of other people and you're like, man, I should be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't shit on yourself, man.
Well, not in that sense, but just like.
You see it and think like that would be beneficial for me.
Yeah. And like anything we talk about, it's like, just take the step of action to start implementing the habit. So,
Absolutely. I, you train by yourself most days, which sometimes I'm jealous of. Cause there's such a dichotomy where like some days I just want to like throw my headphones in or put some music on and like just do my own thing and just be with myself.
Sure.
And sometimes I get really good training sessions like that.
Yeah.
And then there are days where like, I don't really feel like training, but I've got like 3 people coming in to work out with me. So I'm going to get after it anyways, Yeah.
And you have that like kind of built-in rhythm now where it's almost like every time you go to train based on that time. Like, yeah. Well, on the inverse of that, sometimes I don't know that the grass is always greener. I guess exactly. For me, I feel like I'm a pretty extroverted person. Like the older I get, the more I realize like I thrive in like, I like social environments. Like I like to feed off of people's energy and that sort of thing. And so I actually am in the process of, I think probably going to go find a gym membership because I spend so much time in that space, and I think that's part of it, right? If it was just my garage gym and I did something else and it was like, yeah, I'm going to walk in here for an hour, crush it, like, I think that'd be not a problem. But I think it's the spending the hours in the space. You know, you'll do a morning of 5 sessions back to back, and then it's like, I got to come back in here and no, I got to do it for myself. Like, sometimes the motivation is low, I would say, and don't not train because your motivation's low.
Yeah, do it anyways.
Do it anyways.
Yeah.
So the discipline is there because I've just always done that.
Yeah.
But you know, like this summer was actually a good test of like, we went on some trips, and when we were away, I was intentional about like finding some places to train, and I felt like so much more fulfilled from those sessions than like the last months of working up in the garage, because I was like, dude, and I'm just like, I know it's probably not the best posture to have, but I feel like I'm just a really competitive person. And so just being in that environment of like other people lifting and stuff, and I'm not trying to like, you know, crap on other people like doing their exercises, but I feed off of that. It's like, okay, they're doing that, like, oh, I could do a little more, or you know what I mean? It's kind of that vibe.
I find it can inspire creativity too, to be in a new space.
Yeah.
Like I'll leave my gym sometimes to go work out in another gym when I'm, you know, by myself, just because like just switching the environment up does something to your mind.
It switches a gear in your brain and lets you kind of like, it's something new. It's something, you know, exciting or whatever it is. And it just gives you like a new edge to what you're doing.
I think that's why so many people struggled with, you know, being home for like COVID.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people bought exercise equipment, but then just didn't use it because you associate spaces with, you know, certain intentions and certain energies and certain, you know, overall vibes, quote unquote. But it's hard to like go from your living room to, you know, another room and you're still at home and then like get after it and completely shift gears.
Yeah.
Whereas you drive in your car to the gym and you like packed your bag and you know you're going to the gym, and you step in the gym and you're in a new environment and you're there to accomplish a task.
Yep.
So it's much easier to like get after it, and
1000%.
And then you go back home and you chill. Like when I get home is where I relax. Home is where I like drop in, I eat food, I relax, I downregulate. Home is not where, you know, I like to be getting after it necessarily.
Yeah, it definitely takes like a different type of discipline to say like, okay, this is the situation, you know, this is what's presented to me as far as my options. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing that for the last 6 years, and for half of that, it was MySpace to like, not MySpace, you know, Tom is there and all the my top 5 friends. I'm just kidding.
Top 8.
It was like my space, like I would go to a day job 9 to 5 and then I would come home and it was like the garage was my sacred.
Yeah, this is like where I go to train. Yeah.
Now it's a little bit different shift. So yeah, I agree. I think like there's something about like movement, like action of like you said, I'm getting in the car, I'm driving to the place. It's like, it almost like builds up anticipation. Yep. Now for some that could be a negative thing, right? I know there's a lot of, I was just reading up on like percentages of people who have gym anxiety and all that, which is a whole thing, you know, but like for someone like myself, it's like, yeah, this is building anticipation. I'm like, I can't wait to, you know, go get after it. Like you said, like when I went to, we just went to California for the summer, and the gym had like all this like unique equipment that like I don't have access to. And this is just my brain. Maybe this is psychotic and some people would be like, dude, you're weird. But I would be like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to hit this like belt squat. And I'm so excited about like doing that. I'm just like I'm like piecing together. I know they have this. I know they have this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just like, dude, I just get excited. I geek out about it.
I get nervous before workouts because I know I already have like numbers in my head that I want to hit. Like, say like I'm doing squats this Friday. I know I'm gonna do like 3 sets of 3. This is the number I want to hit. So like going into the workout, I'm like kind of like nervous, anxious, excited because like I know it's gonna be hard, but I also know the goal that I have in mind. I'm like, okay, like this is what I'm working to. You know, so there's like that nervous excitement of like, okay, I hope I can like accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish today.
Yeah. That's a really cool spot to be too in your training. And I think like when people have been doing it long enough and you're actually like tracking record of your progress, like you start to build that connection with like, oh, I'm competing against myself. You know exactly. what I mean? And it is that, like, I love that feeling of like, okay, I know tomorrow I got a big lift. Let's go get it. And you might walk in and the body's not feeling awesome and maybe you'll come up shy, but it's still just like that. You're chasing like the next hill in some sense, and it's awesome.
If I come up short, then I'm just depressed the rest of the day. Oh, dang it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Your client's like, Jacob, are you okay? Like, I thought I was supposed to be warming up. Why are you crying?
I'm just over here crying. I don't know. I can't coach you. I obviously have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. You know what? You should go somewhere else.
Yeah. Questioning everything I've ever learned about exercise. There's a garage gym
down the street. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go see Brandon.
Yeah, right. Because I'll never touch numbers that you do.
Oh, you will.
We'll see.
Yeah, that hip's on the mend, bro.
It's on the mend, dude. Yeah, getting the body healthy.
Going back to what we were kind of talking about, like creating space for ourselves to be self-reflective, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about kind of filling our own cup in a sense, right? Because we were kind of relating how. If I was saying personally, if I don't get that time to kind of be self-reflective and just have a little bit of time with myself, and I struggle to, continue pouring into others because, as a coach, if you're coaching all day, you're constantly pouring into others. You're invested in their progress, and you're being of service, which can be powerful and can fill you up and make you feel good. But it's also important to, again, just connect with yourself and check in with yourself. So I just wanted to touch on that point of like, we have to take care of ourselves in order to be of service to others, right?
Absolutely.
And this overall kind of relates to our topic for the day, which is we're going to touch on, purpose as a general term. And the podcast that you guys are listening to right now is called the Fit for Purpose podcast. And that's because we love fitness, we love health, we love getting after it in the gym, but aside from that just being a passion, it's also a vehicle to higher purpose, right? And being of service to other people. And, we believe in that for everyone, right? So, I just wanted to touch on that, jump into that a little bit.
Absolutely.
And, I want you to kind of take it away with what you're talking about as far as like, filling up your own cup before pouring.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, we'll hear... I work with a lot of like parents, and I feel like this is really common of parents, but others as well. But the idea of like, I constantly have to be serving other people. My time is not my time. And it's kind of this attitude built up of I'm at max capacity with my schedule. I don't have the time to work out. I don't have the time to think about food and things like that. And my encouragement is like, okay, if we're supposed to intentionally care for other people, it's exactly like you said. It's like I have this thing that I'm pouring from. And if that's empty, then are you giving the very best to those people? If it's your kids, if it's your significant other, if it's maybe a loved one that you're caring for or whatever that looks like, if you're running on fumes, like you're not giving that person the very best. So there's this like dichotomy when it comes to health and fitness, because it does take time. It takes time to check in with yourself. It takes time to schedule it. It takes time to go do the thing, to think about the thing. You're making constant decisions in your head that may feel like they're for yourself and they're self-pleasing and self-fulfilling, but in reality, like that, we've said this before on our podcast, is like that little bit of selfishness will allow you to inherit like the things that are going to fill your cup, so that you then in turn can take that and turn around and give it to someone else. Like there can be like vanity connected to exercise, to fitness, to all those things. But one, it's about checking your heart of like, what's your posture, but like, why are you doing these things? But then as you do them, you're going to feel like, okay, I'm moving better. Maybe my gut health is better. Maybe I'm sleeping better. Maybe I'm feeling more confident in my own skin. My clothes are feeling better. And as you adopt those like personas, if you will, or you start to experience the benefits of those things, like, now I'm going to show up for my kids and the people in my life or whoever else, like way better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because like, if you don't do those things, like you're going to be depressed, you're going to lack confidence, you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to feel, and if you don't now, then you will. It's a matter of time, like till it catches up to you in a sense. And like, how are you going to be the best version of yourself in that sense? Yeah.
There's so much here.
So much there.
I love it. I love it. Let's get into it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many thoughts just bubbling up right now. The first thing I wanted to touch on, just again riffing off of what you're saying, if you are pouring or trying to pour from an empty cup, or you're constantly in service to other people, or you're telling yourself a story that you don't have time to take care of yourself because you're constantly taking care of the people around you. If you're telling yourself that story, again, I say story because it's not necessarily true.
Reality, yeah.
It's the story that you're telling,
yes.
right? Eventually, you're going to begin resenting the people that you're taking care of.
For sure.
Because you're exhausted.
That's a great point.
You feel underappreciated. So the people that you love the most, that you're taking care of, you begin to resent them because you feel or you believe that you cannot take care of yourself in the way that you need to. That goes on long enough, that resentment turns into bad relationships, or it turns into passive aggressiveness, or if it goes on long enough, it turns into disease, right, in your body. Because that's unexpressed, that's unmoved energy and emotion that you're experiencing, but you're not expressing, right?
Yeah.
So again, that's a story that you have to question. And just to the point like you just talked about, if you can be aware of that story, start to rewire it and plan and schedule time for yourself, then again, you're going to show up for the people that you care about with love because you have love to share. It's not going to be out of the feeling of necessity or the feeling of obligation. It's going to be a labor of love, which is sustainable. A labor that feels like obligation, or you have to do something, or it's a necessity, that's not sustainable. That turns into resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything on that?
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about like in a practical application of that. Like my wife cares for our kids so well. She's so patient. She's so kind. She shows up for them, and it's important that my wife gets breaks from that. You know what I mean? And yeah, like this week, I know she's got 2 nights away from the house and she's going to go hang with friends and she's going to be filled up. And so that when she comes back, she's able to jump right back into what is asked of her as a mom, as a spouse, as, an employee at her job, things like that. So, and in that way, it's like fitness can be that thing, you know. I would obviously encourage you to have like a community and people to go see, and that's a great outlet.
Yeah, fitness is one piece.
But fitness is also a piece. Like if you could take an hour a day and accumulate that in your week, of 7 hours in your week that you had time to yourself, there was nobody you had to like, do anything for, that was tugging on you, that was, asking of you. It was just for you. And you got to become a better person through that activity. Dude, how rewarding is that? So then it's like, okay, I had my workout. I'm going to step foot into my home or, whatever. And now I can be present. I'm going to turn it on. I'm ready to go because I just expressed all this energy out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, like you said, fitness is a piece of it. And community is a piece of it, and having friends and having time to yourself. There's so many pieces to overall health.
Yeah.
Right. So, fitness and exercise are kind of like one little circle that's encompassed in this whole idea of health. Right. And what I think we're overall talking about here is, we kind of specify fitness and working out and nutrition around that, but really what it's about is improving your overall health.
Yes.
Through movement, through being intentional with your nutrition, through being intentional with your sleep, and through being intentional with what fills you up, what makes you happy, what creates love inside of you so that you have that to share with other people.
Yeah.
Right? Not only do you get to serve more effectively when you're taking care of yourself because you have the energy and the love to do so, but you also get to be an example to the people around you of what's possible.
Yes.
And I think that is really huge and overlooked. We are, it's said that we're like the sum or the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Mm-hmm.
And if you as an individual decide to start taking responsibility for your health, for your fitness, for your happiness, for how you show up in the world, and you improve yourself radically, you know, through just looking better, moving better, feeling better, in general, just having like a brighter light and kind of feeling about you as you move through the world, then you inspire the people around you to do the same by showing them what's possible.
Yep.
So many of us are walking around 20 to 50 pounds overweight, unhappy with our jobs, just kind of like rolling through life, doing whatever feels good in the moment, or distracting ourselves from either what we know we should be doing or distracting ourselves from the discomfort of being overweight and unhealthy. And it takes, a lot of times, it takes seeing what's possible to inspire us to start moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's really cool that you can serve others literally just through being an example.
Definitely.
I love that. I don't know the whole thing by heart, but you've ever seen Coach Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Oof.
Yeah, I love that quote. It's so cool. It's our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure, and it's our lightness. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Mm.
And I think, you know, and that's, and we're just getting a little bit deep, but
yeah,
it's just,
but purpose is deep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Purpose is a heavy kind of discussion in some sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be heavy, but it's going into the depths of ourselves.
I think that's what I mean by that is like, we do not take the time in this day and age to like have that check-in.
Yeah.
Like you said, the autopilot thing, like so many people are kind of have just summed their life up to say, okay, this is like, I'm okay with mediocrity in a sense. Like I'm not willing to take the risk or take the leap because of I'm fearful of what that's going to like ask of me to do, or am I going to be capable of doing that thing, or what is it going to, what am I going to have to say no to because I'm choosing that thing. And that fear or that mindset, it just keeps us stuck. And so many people are just in that perpetual state of like, okay, I guess this is it. But man, I keep asking myself, it's like, don't you want, not for my life, but like I'll see those instances and just say like, man, do you desire more for your life? Like it could be so much better than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is just, it seems like it's a lot harder than this, but it really is truly just a step of action in a positive direction. And we've said this on our show, but we talk a lot about habit stacking and that kind of James Clear mindset. But it's like, if you did like one thing today for yourself, if it's maybe it's as big as going to the gym, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's like you just drink enough water today, or maybe you set an alarm to go to bed at a decent time, or maybe it's you had 2 meals that you made at home for yourself. Like those are simple things, and it could be as simple as just taking a step in a direction for that thing and then looking to the next thing. Okay, I did this and I've been doing it for a week now and I feel good about it. Like, and that's like a rewarding behavior. You know, you do the thing, you feel good, you notice the positive that comes out of that, and then you're like, okay, let me chase the next thing. And then you get out of that like unstuck state. So that's a little tangent off of what you were saying, but
yeah. And once you do that one thing and it becomes your new normal, that's when we start to build momentum.
Yes.
Because that thing becomes your new normal, and then you can add another thing. Yeah.
Momentum was a word that came to mind when you were sharing before, is like, it really is a matter of just get some momentum, 1000%. Because if you feel like you're starting from zero, it's hard. Like it is hard, but if you keep having to start from zero, it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
And I think you get stuck in that perpetual state of like, so do the thing, keep doing the thing, feel the reward that gives you. And then look for the next thing.
Yeah.
Build the momentum. Keep going. Keep the train going.
Yeah, it's a positive feedback loop.
Yes.
And it's not to say that it's always about like chasing the next thing or never being satisfied, but it's our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. And we don't want to go there because with that comes responsibility.
Yes.
Once we are aware of the power and the co-creative ability that we possess, we're co-creators of this reality of our own lives, right? Life, so many things in your life are going to happen outside of your control. And that is the co-creation aspect, that life is happening to you, but you also get to choose how to respond and how to take action on a daily basis so that you are co-creating your life, so that you can work with God, you can work with reality to create what you want.
Yep.
Once we're aware of that, it's scary because now we're responsible. Now we can't say that everything bad that's happening in our lives is someone else's fault.
Yeah.
And we can just sit around and complain about it. We have to assess how we're showing up, how we're contributing to the mess, and take responsibility and start taking action and start taking steps forward.
Yeah, it's way easier to go about life and not have accountability, but it's way more fulfilling to take the responsibility, to be making a positive impact, and to be held accountable to the things that you're doing. Like it's more rewarding. Like, and you realize like we've talked about the Jocko, like discipline equals freedom. Like you build those disciplines and you now are responsible for these things. Like now you feel reward. Again, I like to use my kids as an analogy because like I think being a parent really relates to a lot of this stuff. But like, I care for my kids. My kids don't survive if they're young enough, that like if I'm not serving my children, they're not surviving in this world in a sense.
Yeah.
But that's such a rewarding feeling. Sure, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. It's a lot of responsibility. It absolutely is. But you get them to bed finally. It's 8:30. You get on the couch and you're like, holy crap. But you're like, dude, I got to do that. You know what I mean? I got to be their parent. I got to show up for them, and that feels freaking awesome. So in the same sense, a lot of the stuff we're talking about topic-wise relates to that feeling. Like you will like the responsibility that you have to take now will be worth it because of how it makes you feel internally.
Exactly.
I think this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And with, you love your kids. You love the shit out of your kids. With that love comes responsibility.
1000%. It could be your dog. It could be whatever.
Yeah,
like
your dog. Yeah. It could be yourself, could be your spouse, could be your family. Once you start to become more aware of the fact that you are connected to these people in your life, the actions that you take, and I don't have kids, but I've seen this in my friends, in my community, in my family. The actions that I take have a direct impact and influence on the people around me. And so you can keep yourself blind to that intentionally or unintentionally, but once you see it and once you understand it, you realize that there's responsibility and you can't escape it. So how you are showing up in the world is influencing the people around you. And suddenly you realize, oh, I can't just take action and it's not affecting anyone around me. It's not like I'm not like on an island where I can just do whatever I want and it's only going to affect me. How I'm showing up, the decisions I'm making, how I'm taking care of myself, what I'm choosing to spend my money on, how I'm choosing to spend my time. These things have direct impacts 1000%. On not only the people around me, but the larger community, because the people around you are connected to other people and it ripples out from there. So once the more awareness that you have of like how you're connected to the people around you and the fact that you love the people around you, sits responsibility on you and on your heart, which you can try to ignore and escape, or you can step into and do the best that you can.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to, like, one of the things I wanted to talk about was, like, I think real purpose, as you said it, is how you care for other people. How are you going to serve people? How are you going to show up in a humble posture to provide for people? And as a provider, like relating back to the health and fitness stuff, like if you are not a capable body, how can you provide to the best of your ability? And I think that's a real question to ask yourself. Like this one, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, like, am I capable? Like if I had to walk into a room and like things were asked of me, could I show up? Mm-hmm. Because again, it's that we like take it in so that it can be poured out. And as you give to other people, that's where fulfillment comes from. I think that's where purpose comes from. I think we are on mission to care for other people 1000%. But we also have to be caring for ourselves so that we can do that. One of the things, like I grew up in church and we would go on mission trips and we'd go to Mexico and we'd build homes for people that were in need. And the funny thing about like mission trips is this is like a common thing said within the church world is like, you're preparing for this thing. You're right. Like I'm on mission. I'm going to go like serve these people. I'm going to do this thing. And what happens is like you go spend, let's say a week in their environment in this really hard place and you see these really hard things and you're doing, let's say, manual labor that's like physically exhausting and you're serving these people. Like the intention of this thing is all about someone else who is in need, not you. And when you leave that trip, you leave like so filled up that you were able to do that. And it's just a great reminder for like when we talk about purpose, like that is purpose. And I'm not saying live your life on mission trips and doing that things. Maybe that's what you're called to do. Absolutely. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like that serving others is the thing that you will find fills you up. Another like example, and I knew like a pastor of mine who him and his wife were having like marital struggles. And in that time, his wife got really sick and he had to take the position as like her husband to provide for her because who else was going to do it? And he was like frustrated about the marital struggles, but as he continued to serve her day in and day out and kind of help her get back to health, he realized like, oh my gosh, I actually like really love and care about this woman. And it completely changed the perspective and posture that he had about the situation that they're going through. So another just point about like our purpose on this planet is to care for other people.
Yeah.
And then bringing that back to the fitness thing is like, in the health thing is we want to be healthy bodies so that we can do that, so that we can provide. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, if you're sick, if you're not taking care of yourself to the point where you become sick and diseased, then you're just a burden on the people around you.
Yeah.
And it sounds harsh, but that's the truth of it. Is like how many people are drinking themselves to death or eating themselves to death or just not moving their bodies. And it gets to the point where they're so sick or immobile that they can't be of service. Someone else has to provide for them. Someone else has to take care of them. And, obviously there's circumstances where people need our help because of life,
Definitely.
life circumstances or unexpected circumstances. But we can all be responsible for ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
At least we should be. Like
we should be.
Yeah, I don't want to judge people.
Yeah.
Because I like to, as much as I can, I try to believe that, if I was in someone else's shoes, like say I was born as Brandon, and this isn't my original idea, but say I was born as Brandon and lived your life and had your DNA and your physiology and had all your experiences, then I would be exactly as you are, right? Like I don't, at the deepest level, like I don't think that, anyone is better than anyone else. But that being said, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We have to wake up and realize that, you know, if I'm not fueling myself and taking care of myself and making sure that I'm healthy and capable, then I'm just going to at some point become a burden on the people that I love.
Yep.
And I don't want that.
Yep.
I want to be able to be of service. I want to be able to help the people around me, the people that I love. I want to lift them up and bring them with me. And I want to see what's possible, you know, for all of us. Like, can we all get better? Can we all feel better? Can we all have a better level of enjoyment and happiness in this life? Because we're, you know, not only taking care of ourselves, but we're embodying our mission, in serving other people. So,
yeah, you see that in like later years of life, like, you know, your parents taking care of their parents kind of thing or whatever. It's like,
and we'll all get there someday.
We will all get there someday, but it's like, I guess what I was thinking about was when you said that is like the burden that puts on the person to care for that other person.
Yeah.
Like if you're sick and unhealthy and you're in the hospital or you're in a nursing home or your leg isn't working well or, you know, you're having gut issues and whichever situation we want to play.
You get cancer.
You could have cancer. Yeah. Absolutely. Like someone else is going to have to take on the role now of caring for you. But a lot of when we talk about nutrition, when we talk about sleep, recovery, rest, de-stressing, moving your body, like that is preventative medicine. And 1000% I've seen it said as like personal trainers and like fitness professionals are on the front lines of healthcare because like the things that we're trying to like instill in people is like the single most preventative form of healthcare.
Absolutely.
And the more fit you are and the better that you eat and the better sleep, like all the things that we always bring up, like you're going to be, like you've said it, harder to kill. You're not going to be disease ridden. You're going to be, you know, hopefully decreasing your risk of cancers and diabetes and all of these things that could have really negative benefit or negative side effects. And if you get those things, someone else is going to have to be burdened to care for you. Like, dude, that's not great.
No, it's not. And on a mass scale, that can destroy a society.
Absolutely.
On a mass scale, think about the situation that we're in right now. I mean, disease rates are climbing, autism rates are climbing, obesity rates are climbing, fertility rates are dropping. So who knows where we're going to be in 20 years if we don't have enough people in the workforce that are capable of providing value and food and resources. And we have a bunch of people that are, you know, suckling on the teat of society. As a metaphor.
We were joking this weekend, me and a group of people, about have you seen the movie WALL-E?
Yes. Of
just like how close to reality we are actually getting to like that movie. Like it's actually kind of insane, but
yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, and in that movie, they leave Earth and they're on this massive spaceship.
Yeah.
Right. Who knows if we'll get there before we destroy our ability to actually provide resources for everyone on the planet. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, and that's the reality of it.
Deeper level, you're talking about workforce, like farmers and all those things.
Yeah.
Like how are we getting food on the shelves?
If we don't have people that are capable of doing it,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. I mean, and it's like an illusion because we have such a big society. But if you were, you know, living in a group of 100 people and you guys had to survive, it's like, oh, well, Brandon over there is not freaking doing anything. He's just sitting around watching TV all day.
You feel the weight of it so much more.
Yeah. Brandon's over there freaking watching TV all day. He's not helping us hunt. Like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
He's not contributing to the bottom line.
Survivor, they're going to write my name on the paper and be like, you're out.
Brandon Fuller.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out. Go home.
Sorry. Sorry, Brandon. Should have done more.
Yeah, and maybe that's like, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe that's like morbid, but
no, I mean it is big picture. It's definitely going like pretty deep, but it is to that point, like the greater the masses, the easier it is to hide in the masses.
Exactly.
Like, and the easier it is to coast in life and, say, oh, there's a person for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's not a person for you other than you. Like, I guess is a way to say that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future, we'll just be wearing our VR goggles and we'll have our like little like portioned like Jello square that has all the nutrients that we need, and we can just we'll just or literally just like in an IV into our arms.
Try to
and
get
like,
a little sound effect to that.
Yeah, we don't need farmers or anything anymore. We're all just sitting in our chairs with our VR goggles. We're in the Matrix. There we go.
Yeah, is it Bill Gates is trying to like create all the like fake foods like?
Yeah. It's short-sighted. It's like I think we're lost to, and this is another point.
Yeah.
This is another point why I'm passionate about not only fitness but health, because the deeper that you start diving into health and what we actually need to be healthy as human beings, we cannot escape the fact that we need clean water, we need clean air, and we need nutrition in its organic form from healthy soil.
Mm-hmm.
You could take like all the multivitamins that you want.
Yeah.
That's not going to translate to real health.
Yeah.
Because if you start looking into nutrition and like what's involved in, growing a potato or a carrot or, a piece of steak, like
there's like a perfect design to it in a sense.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
It's all perfectly balanced and perfectly designed.
We came and effed it up.
Well, I mean, yeah, on some sense we've gotten away from that reality, and that's why we're sick.
Yeah.
Because we think that, if I just take my like greens powder in the morning, and
the answer isn't to run further from the truth. It's like to lean in.
We got to lean into the reality of the situation, which is we are human beings that we're literally made of earth. Like I don't know about you, but I was grown in my mom's stomach from one single cell to a human being. And all of the resources that went into me growing from a single cell into a human being came from my mom's body and what she was eating.
Yeah.
There's no escaping that. We, we're humans. We're literally made of the materials from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it goes back to like we talk about nutrition. Like you are what you eat. You're made of whatever you're consuming, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not consuming clean water, clean air, and nutrition that's grown out of high quality soil, or from animals that are eating high quality food from high quality soil, then we're going to be low quality people that start to just freaking fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, our ligaments and tendons are weak and our bones aren't dense. And we start to just fall apart and get sick. And look at our society. Look where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't continue to get further from the truth. We have to lean into the reality of what we need to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to continue to do that, we have to, again, take responsibility for how we're showing up on the world and what we're doing to the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. No, I like it. And I'll say this, in addition to that, is it may feel like things are too far gone and, maybe you're at the helm of, whatever decisions are being made at maybe a governmental level or big industry level, but you can still make choices.
You make choices every day.
On a personal level to individual level to resource the right foods, educate yourself on like quality nutrition. I mean, that's why we have this podcast as an outlet for that, is so we can inform and empower. And that's why that's our job as coaches, is we meet with our clients to say, hey, like this is what I would suggest. And this is how I can stay within my scope to tell you, okay, this is how we can make informed decisions, because you can still do that. You have the power to source quality foods, to make educated decisions in the grocery store or wherever you shop, to make, again, educated decisions about what you're putting in your body. We don't need to wait for like a savior to come in and clean sweep big pharma and all those other giant industries. Like, you know, that shit sucks. There's no denying it.
Yeah.
There is a large group of people with a lot of money who are moving us in that direction, further away from, like you said, reality. But there is still hope for you. Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And, you know, on a weekly basis, I'm going to the store and I'm making sure I'm buying high quality meat, and I'm making sure I'm getting produce, and I'm coming home and I'm washing that produce. And, you know, it's like,
and by doing that, by doing those things so that you can be healthy, you're putting money in the hands of people that are creating real food.
Yeah.
And so you're supporting people that are creating real food versus supporting Bill Gates, who's making, you know, freaking whatever fake plant-based meat that is like garbage, disease-causing food.
Yeah.
Right. So, and again, that's what, again, it comes back to like, just through pulling on the thread of trying to get yourself healthy, you're doing such a service to everyone around you and to the planet, because you cannot get healthy without high quality food, high quality water, high quality air. And it takes a lot of us doing that to start to see a shift in the macro environment. We start to see, okay, well, if Monsanto's not getting as much money because no one's buying, you know, their glyphosate sprayed corn, then they're gonna have to change their practices. Like that's, you know, that's what it is. Like you said, we don't have to wait for the government.
Yeah, and there's power in masses doing that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. And two, like, that's a great way to look at it, because you're giving yourself like more of a big picture reason of why. You know what I mean? It's beyond just like you making a decision. It's like, I'm going to make this decision for myself, and now here's the greater impact it has. Like, I think that's super powerful. So
because there's
feeling like you're a part of something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
Is awesome.
Yeah. And there's future generations coming to this planet, you know, your kids are going to grow up on this planet. My kids are going to grow up on this planet. My great grandkids, you know, hopefully, God willing.
Yeah.
Are going to grow up on this planet. It's you know, and what are we leaving behind?
I like what you said too earlier about the impact you can have through like demonstration of your habits, like leading by example, and that's something that I value as a parent, is like, I'm never going to like force those things upon them. You know, I'm not going to get my kids in the gym and be like, okay, it's time to like crush weights. You know, it's like, all right, here's your meat. You got to eat your meat. Like, I'm not forcing those habits upon them, but me and my wife.
Here, son, here's your testosterone injection.
Come here, son. Let's get juiced up, boy. We got to get you that scholarship. No, I'm just kidding.
Going to the NFL, son.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm just kidding. Real Shane Gillis, like. Yeah. It's like what I was saying was like demonstrating through action. Yeah. We have a gym at home. That door is going to be always open when I'm home and the kids are home and we're working out. They're coming in. They can play. They can do whatever they want. They see us modeling fitness. You know, when it comes to dinner time, it's like, okay, my son is the pickiest eater on the planet, but at the very least, we're going to put fruit on his plate. We're going to give him, you know, the decision to be made around, do you want what we're making? You know, my daughter, thank God, crushes food, and, you know, she's got a protein on her plate. She's got fruits on her plate, and it's not forced. It's just, this is what we're making in our home. So here's the options that you have presented to you. And she's like, okay, like
that's what's normal to her. Yes. She's going to grow up, and as she grows up and starts having experiences at other people's houses and it becomes a teenager, she's going to see that other people aren't doing that. And she's like, well, that's weird. Why are you guys eating that?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are eating like food from a box? That's weird. You know, her normal is going to be like, we usually have like chicken and vegetables or steak and fruit or something, you know, like, and so as she becomes older and, you know, has her own family or grows up and has her own kids, like that is ingrained. Her priority. Yeah. What her priority, that's what her normal is.
And listen, like, we're not the parents that are like, we'll have snacks in the house. We're not putting big old bags of Doritos and Kool-Aid and like whatever else out, but like, we'll do, juice boxes and apple sauces and goldfish and things like that here and there. Like, so like they can still be kids.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I was crushing McDonald's all the time. And like, do you know what I mean? Like kids are resilient in that sense, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we're not going to be so restrictive that, but it's, it really just comes down to like, what is being modeled? Yes. What is the example that's being set?
For sure. And ultimately, like whatever you tell them that they can't have,
of course,
they're going to find a way to get it.
They're like, well, back to MySpace, dude. Like my mom was like, you can't have MySpace. I'd go to a friend's house and just pull it up on his computer. It's like, what are you going to tell me I can't?
Oh, I can't? Really?
So, they might do that with food too. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's not, what you're saying is way less important than what you're modeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's, again, that comes back to purpose. Yeah, man. It's, we didn't even really touch on like, individual purpose, finding kind of what serves you and what fills you up and like what kind of vehicle you want to take to serve people. Cause we all have different gifts. We all have different abilities, and, everyone has a little piece of the puzzle, and their purpose is using their innate strengths and abilities to show up for others.
Yeah, I think that is super valuable. And I also think that in kind of grasping some of this discussion, I think that stuff becomes a lot more clear. You know what I'm saying?
Starting to take the steps.
And when you start to prioritize the right habits and practices, you're going to be like, okay, like the vision is much more clear on like what I need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that you say that because, I believe in God. I have, like a spirituality practice, and I grew up in the Christian. I actually grew up in the Catholic Church, and then was baptized Christian by my own choice later in life. And I've always believed in God and had a kind of a spiritual practice and relationship with, not only my own soul, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier about my self-reflection and spending time with myself. I love to go into meditation and try and connect with my own soul, the own kind of like innate intelligence that's within me, but then also, just looking to get messages and get clarity through being quiet and listening, right? And connecting with God in that way. And when we begin to clean up our physical body, meaning getting healthier and cleaning up our habits and quieting the noise in life, whether that's from, watching the news or being on social media too much, or your physical body is unhealthy and you're inflamed and irritated, that's noise as well, right? But once we start to quiet the noise and kind of clean up our physical bodies, I find personally that the clarity and the connection is so much stronger.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you've ever fasted or done like extended fasting, but that's one of the things that I notice really powerfully with doing like an extended like 2 or 3 day water fast is that you just feel so clear. Yeah. And so I love that you bring that up. But as we start to take steps towards just improving our health and kind of pulling on that thread, that opens up doors to, potentially what our unique individual purpose is.
Yeah, that still soft voice becomes a lot louder.
Yes.
And you see it more in the, like if we're talking in terms of like God and spirituality, he calls us to like his postures of peace, patience, kindness, those kind of things. And you're going to maybe not hear his voice like, hey, this is what you need to do. But you're going to say, okay, I've adopted like these obedient disciplines, and now I see the vision of what like God has for me. It's like, kind of maybe not so clear way of saying that, but
yeah, I mean, it's not super straightforward. It's not like God's gonna be like, all right.
No, it's like you understand his character. Like you said, when you quiet the noise, if you spent time understanding his character and that noise dissipates, it becomes a lot more clear of like the thought process is, it's not, like I said, it's not that he's just like talking to you directly. Maybe it's, he's not saying, hey, Jacob, I want you to wake up tomorrow and go do this thing. But it's like a thought may pop in your head of like, hey, remember that friend you had that told you they were like going through something, like you're like, thinking like, oh, I should probably text them. It's that. And those moments become so much more clear.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that's the serving others, right? Those those things are going to like pop in your head and you're going to be like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get more sensitive to what feels in alignment.
Yes.
Too. You know, should I take this action? No,
and that's kind of what I was trying to, I did a poor job of explaining that, but related to the characters and attributes of God and speaking about that specifically, those become more clear. Yeah. Because you're adopting those principles and those also align with those principles, biblical principles. And you're like, okay, I hear it. I see it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a separate kind of religious tangent there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So all that to say, yeah, as you, like you said, quiet the noise, reflect with yourself, spend time to care for yourself. Like, man, purpose is out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about health and fitness is because as you start to pull on that thread, it just opens up so many doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Let's step out of the child archetype and let's become big kids. Let's become adults.
Yeah, I was like, where are we going with this? I like that.
let's grow. Let's become adults and let's start taking responsibility for ourselves and for what we're creating and we're on this journey too. You know, we're
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think maybe a little more seasoned in our life experiences, but yeah, we are no different than anybody else. And like what the stuff we're saying is just life experience and all that, and hoping that we can pass that on. Yeah.
And just hopefully inspire some people to
absolutely.
Yeah. Start taking their health seriously and do it for purpose.
Come on now.
Let's go.